and he gave his insights on the Sanchez and Casimero fight. Now that it's done, first round TKO victory for John Riel. Were
Mhm.
you able to watch the fight, and what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I was able to watch the fight. I was falling asleep. It was
Mm.
so late over here, but
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before, and I think regardless of the weight issue, you can't
Mm-hmm.
count John Riel Casimero out. He, especially in the first 4 rounds,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what
Yeah.
we saw happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the danger of fighting Saul was if he was able to take him past 4 rounds.
Yeah.
If John Riel's conditioning was
Yeah.
going to sustain, considering we don't know what happened during camp, but we do know that he struggled to make this weight. So when you're
Mhm.
still trying to cut, that hard the day before, the day of weigh-ins and the day of, because he had that limitation, right? He had to weigh in the next day. What does that do to your performance on, the rehydration and recovery? So that's why we
Mm.
said we're like under 4. uh, yeah, if Saul can't get away from Casemiro, he's gonna get knocked out. After 4,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't get there. So, he's a very powerful fighter, and it sucks that this is really tainting his legacy than having just a clean road. He's dangerous. The choices that he's making in his career, there's nothing that you can do. As far as I know, Japan's really upset. I've heard from 3
Mhm.
Japanese people on that side with Tekken that he's not going to get the Inoue fight. These are the choices you make, and it sucks because he's a
Mhm.
great fighter.
Mm-hmm. And now, being in the boxing, like being in the fight game, you're strongly immersed in the fight game. How does this affect? How does this win affect Casimero's career come moving forward? Like, what's like everybody's asking now, what's next for John Riel,
Yeah.
and what are his options? Now, as someone who's looking at it from the inside, is this win a good career? Is this a good career win for him, or it doesn't change anything, or it doesn't change much when it comes to like contract extensions, contract renewals, any other promotions
Mhm.
getting interested with John Riel?
I mean, as far as with Ito, I read a 4-page report of him ranting, being really upset about the weight
Yeah, with
thing.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then so with Ito, I'm not sure if this is gonna if he's gonna want to
Mhm.
extend the contract once it expires. In addition to the fact that there is now a suspension, and
Mhm.
normally there is a
Yeah.
respect for commissions that if you're suspended there, you're suspended here. And that's going to play a big factor. If
Mm.
Mhm.
And then the rankings are coming. The
Yeah.
commissions, the rankings are coming. If I'm going up against Casemiro and watching and knowing he's suspended, I'd request my fighter to be ranked higher than him because he will
Yeah.
be inactive for a
Sure.
year. And Saul Sanchez was a 118 pounder, not a
Mm.
122. And you didn't make 122 to be ranked in 122.
So all in
So
all, that really affects his
Wow.
place in the 122 division right now.
yeah, whoever's fighting against him, any of the boxers that are lower than him in the sanctioning bodies, those are all points of contention when it comes to conventions. You
Wow.
didn't fight at 122. Why are you ranked at 122?
Okay.
You're suspended for a year. You fought a 118 pounder.
He can't fight in Japan, so he can fight. He can
And like I
probably
said, it's
he can probably
depending.
fight in Korea.
It's dependent. Okay, so the problem with that is, does the other commission respect JBC,
Okay,
right?
the
So
Japan, yeah, JBC, yeah, 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 yeah.
because what's going to happen is if Korea or any other sanctioning any other commission
Yes.
bans a fighter, if they ban a fighter and they go over to Japan and Japan's like, well, we don't really care about your suspension, then it's going to go both ways,
Mhm.
right? So the
Yes.
Mm,
US is like,
that is true.
BBBOC, they're like, nope, if this fighter's banned, he's banned, and the US will take that and say, okay, well, you're banned. We're not going to do anything with you either. Now, does Mexico play? I'm not sure. I'm not really insightful about, Mexico commission, whether they'll take that into consideration or not. But you have to remember these commissions talk, because
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
for a Mexican fighter to come into Japan, they need the approval of Mexican commission and vice
Yeah.
versa.
It's
Yeah.
like a snowball effect na ngayon, di ba?
Yes.
So this
Yeah.
suspension might pose as a big problem for Casimero fighting elsewhere, even with a 1 year suspension. Is that
Well, I
how
mean,
it will go?
I talked to his manager a couple days ago, and he was like,
Mm.
"Yep, he got suspended for a year," and then it was end story. Like we didn't talk anything
Yeah.
else about it. Like
Ah.
he was like it didn't seem
Teka,
like
sino
as
bang
a
manager ni Casimero?
Jose de la Cruz.
Jose de
Oh.
la Cruz. So you were able to talk to Jose de la Cruz, and then he confirmed that John Riel is suspended for how,
Mhm.
like what, 6 months or
1 year,
1
he
year?
said.
Because there
He
were
told
One
me
like,
year.
1 year.
1 year.
okay, so he's suspended for a year by the JBC. So he's inactive. He's gonna be inactive for a year.
Mhm.
So now all Casimero fans are going to wait for another year if he is going to fight. So
Correct.
at least now everything's clearer. There's no speculation as much as possible. We want to make sure that there is no misinformation that's happening. But also, like for example, we had for then he gave us a very
Mhm.
interesting story, and I wanted to have
Yes.
your take on it.